The time has come, the prophecy fulfilled, the fires of judgment
Is the book of Hebrews 6 and 17 get right to the point, wherein the Heavenly Father, or God, which his name is Yahweh, his son's name is YAHAWASHI, wherein God willing more abundantly to show unto the heirs of promise. Who's that? That's the nation of Israel, beginning with the elect. The heirs of promise. Heir means someone who's set to inherit something. The first thing we're going to inherit, those of us that are part of the elect, is salvation by YAHAWASHI into those chariots. Then we're going to inherit those new bodies that the Apostle Paul talked about. As a matter of fact, the Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians 15, we shall be changed in the twinkling of an eye. Like that, we're going to get these new indestructible bodies. In other words, we're never going to die. Death is going to be a thing of the past. So we're going to be like gods. Psalms 82 and 6. We're going to have godlike powers in the flesh. We're going to have godlike powers in the flesh. I just gave you a couple of examples of what we're set to inherit. That's why it says heirs of promise. So let's read it again. Wherein the Heavenly Father willing more abundantly to show unto the heirs of promise, and hopefully that's us, the immutability of his counsel. Now let's look up that word. That's a big word there. Immutability. Let's define that word. Immutability comes from the word immutable. It says unchanging over time or unable to be changed. So the Heavenly Father's word is unable to be changed. It cannot change.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth, and in sincerity across the four winds, in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful leg, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. All right, and what I want to get into with this lesson is dealing with how Yahawashi will set the world in order. Okay, Yahawashi will set the world in order. Okay, and it begins with this word setting the elect in order. Okay, matter of fact, let's get some precepts to prove that. When you go here to the, to the book of Wisdom and Solomon, chapter 8, okay? Because it begins with the Lord, putting his people in order, all right? And it's going to be YAHAWASHI and the remnant, okay, beginning with YAHAWASHI, the first fruits, that's going to get the earth in order and righteousness, man, okay? The earth will be ran by the wisdom of the Heavenly Father, okay? Let's go here because, I think that's Wisdom of Solomon 8. Because right now the earth is being ran by a madman. Okay, the man of sin. Okay, the man of violence. Okay, the man of rebellion. Okay, that's who runs the earth. So the earth is in complete chaos under the rulership of Esau, Edom. Okay, but the Lord in these last days has raised up the prophets. Okay, and through the ministry of the prophet, there's a remnant that he's putting in order. Okay, with this wisdom. Okay, because the next age is going to rule the earth is going to be the age of Israel under YAHAWASHI. Okay, so you go to Wisdom of Solomon 8:1. It says, "Wisdom reaches from one end to another mightily, and sweetly does she order all things." So wisdom reaches one end, all right, to another, and how is it doing that? Via the internet as well. Okay, and sweetly does she order all things. So this wisdom is putting together, all right, in order the elect. Okay, through this wisdom, the elect is being put in order. Okay, because the elect is going to be the ruling nation at the fall of this society, man, the fall of this kingdom, where there's going to be another kingdom. Okay, and Yahushua said, "What the kingdom is within us, man." So the kingdom begins with us being put in order. Okay, then Yahushua is coming to judge the world. Matter of fact, let's let's get this real quick. Cause what did Apostle Paul? Um, Matter of fact, let's go and get in the just in case somebody can look up in the blue. Let's go here. All right, because Apostle Paul told the church, okay, of Corinth, okay, if they was having, disputes amongst one another. I believe that's, let's see, either First or Second Corinthians. Okay, this is a book of yep, this is a book of First Corinthians. Okay, in verse, I started at verse 1. First Corinthians 6:1 says, "When one of you has a dispute with another believer, how dare you file a lawsuit in a secular, all right, and ask a secular court to decide the matter instead of taking it to other believers? Don't you realize that someday we believers will judge the world? All right, Israelites will be the judges of the world. The men of Israel will be judges of the world. Okay, beginning Yahweh Shai is going to be the top judge. All right, the 12. Okay, and then the rest of the 144,000 are going to be the judges of the world. Okay, so we're being put in order because the Lord is going to settle righteous judges of the world, kings. All right, because that's the duty of a king is to judge. As we're going to be kings, joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. Well, part of a king's duty is to judge. Okay, so the Lord is this wisdom. All right, through the Spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, this wisdom is cultivating and conditioning, all right, and grooming righteous judges, man. That's going to judge the world, man. Okay, because what the world lacks more than anything is righteous judgment, man. Okay, that's why it's nothing but confusion and war. Okay, because the earth lacks righteous judgment. Okay, and it starts at the top. See, the top got to be right. The leadership got to be right, or nothing else is going to be right. Okay, or nothing else is going to be right if the leadership ain't right, man. That's why the scriptures address the leaders of the world more than anything. Okay, it addresses the leaders, all right, more than anything, man. You see? And right now, the Lord, okay, is addressing the leadership of this current world, which is Esau Edom. Okay, because that's the problem of the earth is Esau, man. Okay, and the prophecy addresses their problem. Okay, and the second coming of Yahushua, that's going to address the Edomite problem in the world. Okay, and the stage is being set. And since you are going to judge the world, can't you decide even the little things among yourselves? Yeah, because it starts now. First it starts with governing ourselves, self-government. Okay, according to what? This wisdom. We begin to govern ourselves according to this wisdom, getting ourselves in order, man. And as we, mature in the faith, we grow in the ministry. Okay, and the Lord has us, He gives us an office in the church, to care for the church, to judge amongst the church. You see? So the Lord has us, judging now. All right, we're rehearsing. That's part of rehearsing the righteous acts is, all right, executing righteous judgment, man. Okay, amongst the little things that the Lord has given us, authority over now. But it begins with us, ourselves. Okay, self-government is the first level, okay, of becoming a righteous judge under Yahweh Shai. Okay, and that's a continuing thing until the return of Yahawashi, man. So you go here to the book of Psalms. All right. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 55. All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 55. And not Psalms 50. So like it's the book of Psalms, chapter 50. You see, so the Lord, is prepping the elect for the next rulership. Okay. And it's happening the same time as he's bringing the devil down. Psalms 50 and 19, it says, Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. And this is speaking of Esau. Okay? And this man's rulership is based in deception, man. That's why the earth is so grimy and so confusing. It's just a bunch. The Esau has created a hot mess in the earth, man. His rulership is tacky as hell, man. For the longest he's been able to get away with it, man. It's been organized chaos, all right, since the beginning. But now we're just getting to the point to where that's why you're at the point of the Third World War. Okay? There's all this treachery and backstabbing and double crossing, Esau does with these nations, man. Okay? His man has just created a big mess in the earth, man. You look at this man and how he rules, and you study his coups and how he established certain lands and certain countries, man. This man has created a hot goddamn mess in the earth, man. Okay? And that's why Yahawashi, he's coming to clean this thing up, man. It says, Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother and slanderest thy own mother's son. All right? And they're speaking of Jacob. Okay? Because this devil, he makes sure to put emphasis, okay, on slander and propaganda when it comes to the tribes, man. Okay, he invests heavily into social engineering, which is the witchcraft, through the music, the entertainment, the food, the education. Okay, so this devil, he has crafted an image of our people as the worst of the worst, man. Like we're inherently wrong. See, Esau is inherently off. Okay, but he's paint that picture. He's put that stigma on Jake. All right, because even Jake, there's not in the truth, man. You put them, all right, in a decent, you put them in decent circumstance, decent environment. Jake be cool, man. Okay, but you got this devil, all right, who goes out his way, you see, to social engineer, all right, cause poverty, glorify violence, chemical warfare with the drugs, all right, promote, glorify single motherhood, like there's some type of great, like the woman, a hero, and it's all self-destructive, okay, scenarios, man. Okay, and he intentionally does that so he can point the finger at the tribes, man. Now Jake is off for continuing on participating in this man's wickedness, man. Jake is off. Okay, Jake. You see, but we have to deal with the origin of the problem, and it begins with Esau. Esau, the problem of the earth, man. Okay, this man is the source. When you go to everything that you can complain about in the planet Earth, it goes back to Esau, man. Okay, so let's keep reading. It says, these things has thou done, and I kept silence, and that thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself, man. Because the Lord has allowed this man to prosper in his wickedness, the Lord has allowed, this man to have his way with Jake. Okay, create niggas. The Lord has allowed this man to do these things. So in Esau's mind, the Lord is all the way down with his plan. Okay, not knowing that no, the Lord just gave you a window to incriminate yourself, man. Okay, the Lord gave this man a temporary kingdom just so he can be found guilty, man, of doing too much, man. Because we was giving into your hand, but you did too much, damn devil. Okay, we was given over to you as a punishment, man. But what did you do? too goddamn much. You went too far, man. Okay? And in your mind, the Most High was fully with it because he allowed it for a period of time, man. Okay? But as we, all right, or at the end of this thing, man, we see that the Heavenly Father is beginning to make move against this devil, man. And one of the signs that the Lord is making moves against Esau, because it says, but I will reprove thee. And how would he reprove Esau? Through the prophets, man. And these prophets, all right, and these prophecies coming to pass. Okay? This is devil being reproved, man, because we're speaking against this devil, man. The Lord is starting to uh, judge this man. Okay? Making his counsel foolish. Okay? This man, the sword ain't got the effect that it used to. Okay? So this devil is being reproved. Okay? His vassals are finna buck up against this nigga, man. You see? World War III is not going to benefit him. It's going to work against him, man. Okay? Because the first two wars, it benefited these devils, man, these elites, playing both sides. All right? Manufacturing the outcome. Okay? Resetting the earth, getting it closer to their new world order. All right? In this third war, they think they're going to accomplish their new world order. Okay? But now the Lord is reproving Esau and set them, speaking of the elect, in order before thine eyes. So Esau is being reproved by the next judges of the earth, man. Lord will we endure to the end. So the rightful judges are beginning to reprove and rebuke Esau in his own kingdom, man, before the Lord makes a transition. Okay, and it's going to be YAHAWASHI that's going to come and execute their righteous judgment, man. See, we can just speak on the judgment. Okay, now in the kingdom we're going to have authority to execute judgment in the earth, man. Okay, but right now we're just tasked with speaking the judgment, and YAHAWASHI is going to come execute, man. Okay, let's prove it. You see, let's go here to Jeremiah 23. Okay, it's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23. And five. Yep, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, and verse 5. It says, behold, the days come, said the Lord YAHAWASHI, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and the king shall reign and prosper. All right, and this YAHAWASHI. Okay, he's that righteous branch that's going to come up in the lineage of David. Okay, and he's coming to reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth, man. So YAHAWASHI is coming to execute major judgment in the earth, man. He's coming to take down all these heathens. Okay, beginning with who? Esau, Edom. All right, it's going to be YAHAWASHI that's going to completely take Esau out of power. It's going to remove the devil from power. Okay, it's going to be YAHAWASHI that's going to come and move Esau, the devil, fully out of power, man. Fully put an end to his kingdom. Along with the rest of these heathens, man. All the heathens on the earth are going into captivity, man, because they've been tainted by the devil. Okay, especially the West. Okay, well, America, these EU nations, Russia, Iran, China, Japan, these Hamites, all of them going into captivity. Ishmael, okay, Japhet, you see? Oh, Salaki. All right, all of them can go into captivity, man. Okay, because they all had a part, in this rebellion. All these nations have played a part, man. Some more than others, but they all guilty of rebelling against the Most High. All right, because even this whole thing with Islam, that's rebellion, man. Okay, that's exalting another God, man. It's a heavy offense. So YAHAWASHI, he's coming to judge all that, man. Okay, he's been given that authority by who? The Father. You see, and once we're changed and established in the kingdom, we're going to have that authority to execute righteous judgment in the earth, man. Okay, he says, in this day, Judah shall be saved, the southern kingdom, and Israel shall dwell safely, And this is his name whereby he shall be called the Lord YAHAWASHI our righteousness, man. You know? So the YAHAWASHI, he's coming to deliver a remnant, okay, from amongst the tribes, okay, and execute righteous judgment in the earth, man, which is to put down all these militaries, man. YAHAWASHI is coming to put down every military of the heathen, man. Okay? Verse 7 said, therefore, behold, the days come, said the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, which is here in America, man. Okay? So Yahweh Shai is coming to deliver a remnant, man. And through that remnant, righteousness is going to flourish in the earth. Okay? Through that remnant, righteousness is going to abound in the earth, man. Okay, the exact opposite of this kingdom where wickedness abounds in the earth, man. Wickedness is multiplied in the earth under this kingdom, man. Okay? But Yahweh Shai, when he comes and subdue the heathen and conquer the heathen through righteousness, through war, okay, he's going to create an environment for his people to flourish and multiply in righteousness, man. You see? That's why you go into, Isaiah 4 and 1 and these other, prophecies, it's dealing with righteousness flourishing in the earth, man. It's bigger than, what Esau taught us about marriage, okay? What Esau told us about sex or whatever. And it's way bigger than that, man. Okay? It's way bigger than that, man. This is about righteousness flourishing in the earth, man. This is about Yahweh Shah setting everything right. Okay? He's going to set everything back in order, man. Okay? These dumbass emotions that, we have and, the women have, all right? Them dumbass emotions, all this going to be done away with, man. Okay? Selfish as hell, short sighted, slave mentality, all this going to be done away with, man, when we're changed. And it's being done away with now. We should be growing out a lot of things of Western culture, man. We'll work in progress until we change, man. But that Western way of thinking, man, we should be growing out this shit up, man. God damn. Okay? Jeremiah 23 and 8, it said, but the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. All right? And the Lord is going to put us in our own land, what? For us to rule out of, man. Okay? Because even now you have these Edomites, all right, mainly Amalek, all right, they want that greater Israel project. They think in their new world order and their technocracy. All right, these small heads, all right, these elites of these small heads think they're going to rule the earth from Jerusalem, man. Okay, they think they're going to do a greater Israel project and bless themselves with the land and rule in the technocracy out of Jerusalem, man. Which that's you see, that's madness, man. Okay, so all these devils, they've been at war in their region, for all these decades. Okay, they want their place destabilized, man, so they can come in. Okay, at the end of the war and set up greater Israel, man. Nah, man. Okay, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. Okay, you not. Let me see. Let's go here. Matter of fact, when you go to Psalms 2, I like getting into this. Um, let's get this in the NLT. Okay, because this sums up everything that we see happening and going on. When you read Psalms 2 and 1, it said, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Okay, and you read this in the NLT. All right, because we're seeing the heathen raging, their rage, and the Hebrew goes into regash, which means to conspire or to plot. Okay, because these devils, they're conspiring a new world order. Okay, and conspire, all right, just mean the inspiration, to do wickedness, man. Inspired to do wickedness. Okay, where two or more people conspire, all right, to do wickedness, man. Okay, Psalms 2 and 1 says, why are the nations so angry? Why do they waste their time with futile plans? Okay, why do they waste their time with futile plans? You see, because what this devil is planning to do is futile. Let's get this word futile. Okay, and these devils really think that they're gonna bless themselves. Okay, with the land promised to us, make themselves, choose themselves. Esau and chose himself. Okay, he's just gonna bless himself. All right, and ride off in the sunset in the technocracy. Okay, the goddamn robot traffic cop. Okay, surveillance state, smart city. No, man. Okay, when you go into the word futile, it says incapable of producing anything useful. All right, it says incapable of producing any useful result, pointless, man. Okay, so what Esau doing is futile, man. It's incapable of producing anything, all right, any useful result, man, because you go into the New World Order is dumb, it's stupid. Okay, he put in these movies like he just owns something so great, man. This is stupid, man. Okay, and it's over exaggerated how this devil promotes this thing, man. Okay, this is a very dumb idea. Okay, what this man is trying to do. Synthetic foods. Okay, synthetic procreation. He want to keep you in some type of virtual reality or something. It's just tacking all over. It's pointless, man. Okay, and it doesn't produce anything that's useful, man. Okay, fruitless, pointless, useless, man. All right, and the reason why he gets to boast in his technology so much because he's made people so useless, man, worthless. He's made people so worthless, man. That's why he's able to sell a sex robot, okay? Because he done made people so goddamn worthless and pointless and useless, man. Okay, in this society, man, this man has made people, especially in America, man, completely useless, man. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go back to Psalms 2. Okay, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 2, in verse 1. It says, why are the nations so angry? Why do they waste their time with futile plans, man? They begin with Esau with these futile plans. And these nations, okay, are on board with it. Okay, all of them, man. All these nations have New World Order ambition, man. And this is why we see they're trying to position themselves in some type of position of strength and power going into this New World Order, man. Okay? But it's all futile. It said the kings of the earth prepare for battle. The rulers plot together against the Lord, YAHAWASHI, and against his anointed one. Okay? So all these heathens, okay, they're plotting against the true power. Okay? Whether they do it in the name of Satan, like the devils, the Edomites. Okay, well, they do it in the name of Allah. Well, it's all against the true power, YAHAWASHI, and their people. Okay, it said, let us break their chains, they cry, and free ourselves from slavery to the Most High. Okay, because in this technocracy, man, it's all about, all right, undermining the authority of the Most High. Okay, trying to recreate, all right, creation. Okay, in his image. You see, this is the biggest rebellion the earth has ever seen, man. Okay, Esau was blessed with all this technology and wealth and influence, and what did this nigga do, man? He financed the biggest, okay, rebellion the earth has ever seen. Okay, it said, but the one who rules in heaven, the Most High, okay, the Lord scoffs at them, and the Lord and the Lord is making mockery through the devil, through the prophets, man, because this is dumb. Okay, looking at Esau, the Lord is making mockery through the prophets now, man. This is a dumb idea. This man, he doesn't have enough resources to really pull off what he's trying to do. Okay, he's creating all these data centers that destroy the environment. It's like, well, nigga, where are you going to stay? You can't just keep destroying the environment, man. Okay, Esau did not got this thing mapped out, man. This is very foolish and childish what this man is doing, man. You can't just keep destroying the environment, man. Keep putting up all these data centers, man. You can't use all the fresh water on Earth to cool down a big dumbass computer, man. Okay, it's a big ass child that's off the chain, man. Okay, Esau runs the earth as a child with no supervision, man. Into everything, man. You see? So the Lord is scoffing this nigga, all right, in his attempt to throw up his new world order, man. Okay, and the Lord gonna let him, begin to kind of see it, you know, let him implement particular things, man. And the Lord is gonna do what? Verse 5. Then in anger he rebukes them. Okay, so while these devils are trying to establish this new world order, we know they're going to get to the point of making the MOTB mandatory. All right, so he's going to get that device, okay, in the masses, man. All right, because a lot of people are going to tap out, because of the desperation, the chaos, the violence. Okay, a lot of people are going to tap out and take this device, man. Lord, will we endure? It said, then in his anger he rebukes them, terrified them with his fierce fury, man. And that's going to be Yahawashi. Okay, ultimately it's going to be Yahawashi, man, because it's the nukes as well, because the Lord's the nukes called, the Lord, the scriptures call the nukes the weapons of the Lord's indignation. So the Lord's anger is going to be in those nukes as well, man. And the ultimate wrath is going to be in Yahawashi. Okay, he said, for the Lord declares, I have placed my chosen king on the throne in Jerusalem, on my holy mountain, which is Yahawashi. Okay, and through Yahawashi, the earth is going to be set in order, man. Okay, right now the earth is set in disorder. Okay, but through Yahawashi, man, the earth is going to be set in its rightful order, man. The Lord will, with those joint heirs, going to aid, okay, Yahawashi, and establishing righteous order in the earth, man, and maintaining that order, man. Okay, this is going to be an everlasting. Okay, and the scriptures say, let's get these two. Okay, this is Sirach 10. Okay, and 4. It says the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable, man. And that one that is profitable is Yahawashi. Okay, and Yahawashi is going to establish a government of his brethren, beginning with the first fruits, 12,000 men out of each tribe, is going to maintain righteousness forever, man. Okay, so the Lord is getting ready to put someone that's profitable, okay, over the planet Earth, man, because Esau is not it. Esau has proven time and time again, all right, that he shouldn't be an authority over goddamn thing, man. He really shouldn't even be on Earth, man. That's why ultimately his ultimate judgment, okay, is to be removed from the earth, man. Okay, well, first phase is getting this nigga out of power, man, and the Lord got this nigga making moves. He's gonna lead to the end of his rulership. Everything that he's trying to do for his rulership is putting him a step closer to the end. Okay, that's why that nigga dragging his feet with a few things, man. Okay. Isaiah 9:6 said, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Okay? And this is Yahawashi, and these are his titles. You see? And the government shall be on his shoulder, the Mount Zion, the righteous government. Okay? The Prince of Peace, man. Yahawashi is going to establish, first he's establishing peace between Israel and the Most High, beginning with the elect. Okay? And after this third world's war, it's going to be the last war, man. Okay? It's going to be an everlasting peace treaty, okay, between these nations, man. They're not going to learn war anymore. Now, they have 1,000 years of rigorous captivity, so they're not going to be at peace for 1,000 years, man. Okay, they're going to be being punished and chastened in righteousness, man. Okay, well, ultimately, YAHAWASHI is going to establish peace throughout the whole earth, man. You see, after that 1,000 years, and especially Esau's, he's done away with. Okay, it says, of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end upon the throne of David. You see that? It says, of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end. Okay, so YAHAWASHI is coming, okay, to make everything right, man, to put everything in its order, man. Okay, the earth is going to be at peace, man. It's going to be at rest under the rulership of YAHAWASHI. Okay, it says, upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this, man. The zeal of the Lord of hosts. Okay, so the Heavenly Father can't wait to establish his son YAHAWASHI. Okay, and the remnant in power, man. You know, he can't set up that righteous government which is going to order the world to the liking of the Heavenly Father, man, through the wisdom of the Heavenly Father, man. You know? So that's the point. Just wanted to get into that, Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, YAHAWASHI Bahashem, Makakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples for his younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutation to the whole for Shalom.